The looting that erupted in Gauteng and KwaZulu Natal has put thousands of jobs at risk. And 2 months since the first attacks, many businesses are hoping they can soon recover. Government estimates that the disruptions in KZN cost the economy around 20 billion rand and compromised around 150,000 jobs. Last month, Premier Malishe met with international investors and tried to reassure them that the province is still a safe investment destination. Let's get an update from the Deputy President of the Durban Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Gladwin Malishe, who's joining us now from Durban. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Malishe. Thank you so much for being on Newsfeed PM on this Sunday. Talk to us about the progress that's been made as far as recovery among the businesses that you are responsible for since July.
Good afternoon, sir, and to your viewers. A lot has been done. We have been meeting with the Premier as business. We've met with the City Mayor, Mr. Kaunda, with the captains of industry, just to discuss the issues that are on the table. Why are we where we are and what can be done in order for us to move forward? And a lot has been discussed, and the biggest issue there is the security. We have set up a lot of task team within the business sector, especially to assist the members to claim from their insurances so that they could start as quickly as possible. We have been working with the government to make sure the approvals for buildings, you know that some were burnt, so that if they want to rebuild, that could be done as quickly as possible so that people can be back at work. There are a number of other interventions that we have done as the shops were destroyed. We know that communities, some of them did not have food, so we had food parcels. We had a number of interventions that we did with the communities. We are still meeting. I think in a week or two we'll be meeting again with the Premier to discuss the bulk infrastructure, because there are a number of other projects that are coming into KZN, especially the catalytic project. So there's a need for bulk infrastructure approvals and so on. So we are fast-tracking that so that we can make as many opportunities for job creation as possible in the province.
How many businesses are actually back on their feet? Will most of them survive?
Well, I don't have the exact data of those who are already back on their feet, but mainly the small and medium could easily go back to work. But the bigger companies were a totally destroyed building. You cannot just, up and run. If you look at the statistics, more than 40 billion were lost in terms of stock. So those businesses need to restock again. And some of those things are coming from overseas. We know the issue with the pandemic. There is a delay in terms of shipping. So even if you go to the port, there are some delays in terms of shipping that are coming to South Africa because other countries are experiencing the lockdown. So all of those things are now, creating a delay in terms of the companies starting again.
Premier Malishe at the end of August was in fact in Sandton here in Johannesburg, meeting with international investors, trying to get them to keep their money in the KZN economy or invest more. Are you seeing that begin to bear fruit?
Yes, a number of businesses and a number of embassies have promised to stay in KZN and within Gauteng. So we are winning that. It's just that there are different tasks which we have to deal with. The issue at hand is a security task. We need to assure investors that the security, the environment is good for business in KZN as well as in Gauteng. So we are dealing with that. We've got a task team which is dealing with between private sector as well as the public sector. How do we work together to make sure we don't experience something like the unrest that we did in July? So we are winning that. I think a few days ago we also met with a number of embassies in Durban with the mayor. So all of them, they are willing to come. They know that there are issues in a democracy when you are growing. But the important part is for government and business to show that it is important for them to remain. So we actually on the road show to speak with different companies, different embassies to say, please remain calm. We are dealing with the situation as well as business.
And how confident are you as the Durban Business Chamber that government is now better prepared to deal with any possible uprising similar to what we saw in July?
Well, to be quite honest with you, we have said as business, especially the Durban Chamber, we should not actually answer that question, because you will never know what is happening on the other side. What is important is for us to say, let us alert our members, prepare yourself, look at your security, make sure that you are doing things accordingly. If you feel that there is a threat, speak to us, because we have a way to escalate to the Premier and to the SAPS nationally to say, these are the threats that we're experiencing. So we can't say we've got fully confident on the police at this time around, but all that we are saying, let us as business be prepared for anything that could actually come. We are preparing ourselves to make sure that we protect our businesses, we protect our stock and the employment of those that are still employed.
So safe to say you are still somewhat nervous about a possible resurgence?
Yes, we are. You must understand that the unrest, no one has taken responsibility to say, I've ordered for people to go and do this. No one has taken that responsibility. Until someone come and say, I've ordered people to do this, I'm taking accountability, and now we are fine, we're no longer going to do that, then we'll know that we are dealing with such a person. But for now, if you can go to any quarter of this country, no one is going to tell you, or one is going to say, I'm the one who said to people, let them come and do this thing. So with that, we need to be careful, therefore, to say anything could happen at any time. So politicians could say, we are fine, we can still go on and do business, but as long as they can't really point to the enemy and say, this is the enemy. So as business, we are saying, enemy number one will be unemployment. Enemy number two, we need to make sure that we create as many opportunities for SME as possible. Because we believe that if we have as many people employed, we won't find people, lacking something to do that they go and loot. But we also know that people have learned from the looting, because there are areas now that people have to take 3 taxis to go and buy stable food. So it means it is costing more now in terms of their living standard than before. So we know that there are learning curve that all of us have learned, from the civil society to business as well as government.
Gladwin, Malishe, so good to speak to you, sir. Thank you for your time.